Welcome, it's Jared. We're going to run through ordering a motorised room blind, a room blind headrail, room blind complete kit, and a full blind including the fabric. So we're going to click on add new order to start off. Then brings up this page where we can specify the order details. So we need to enter an order, a customer order number, and we won't be able to go any further until we've done this, so I'm just going to type in test Roman motorised. In fact, I've typed it in before so you can see it dropping down. Customer reference, if you want to put a customer name or anything in there, then go right ahead. So next step is to click next, and then we're going to click on this button here which says add new blind. Then brings up the page where we can start configuring the blind. So we've got the blind type drop down list here. For a room motorised, you click this option here, then reloads and gives us a new set of options. So the first step is to check whether your measurements are metric or imperial. I'm going to choose metric because I generally work in millimeters, although our system accepts inches perfectly happily. And my size is blind size. You can specify recess if necessary, but I'm going to just leave it as blind size. Enter in my size. So I'm going to say metre and a half by metre and a half, 1500 by 1500. And then we come to this drop down list here under fabric. We're going to talk through doing headrail only now, and you actually choose headrail only from this drop down list. So I'm just going to scroll through until I get to H, and here we are. Find headrail only Roman. There we are. Good. And now it's going to recalculate the price. Give it a second. Yep, there we are. £35 is calculated there for the base price, and then it adds on the cost of the motor and so on to give you the net price, then plus VAT. Location, I'm just going to put study here. You can specify whatever you want, and that will actually be printed on the blind, a label on the blind to help you when fitting. Instructions box, I'm going to leave it blank for the time being, although I will cover in a minute how you would use this box. So we're ordering room blind header only. We now need to run through this list of options here, this table here. Make sure that what we're going to receive is what we need. I'm going to run through each option in turn. So the first option is control. It says room blind motor. We're going to leave it at room blind motor. You can see in this drop down list it's the only option anyway. And then headrail, we're going to leave a room blind headrail. Bottom bar and rod, we're going to leave blank because we're ordering a headrail only. Brackets, this option automatically defaults to swivel brackets. There are other options as you can see, but swivel brackets are the most popular option. Now remote control. You would choose different options depending on whether you're ordering one blind for a room or multiple blinds, because if all the blinds being fitted in the same room, you can have one remote control to operate all the blinds together or independently. In this scenario, I'm going to pretend I'm going to be ordering blinds. For this study, we're going to be ordering 2 blinds for it. And so remote control, we're going to want a multi-channel remote because there's more than one blind. So I'm going to choose an Elite 15-channel remote. Also you can see all these other options, but you'll find more information on each option in our catalogue. So Elite 15-channel remote. See the price is updated there. Now lining. For some reason this is defaulted to black outlining. We don't want any lining because it's a headrail only, so we're just going to choose this blank option here. Then we can move on to power supply. Each blind will need its own power supply. So they choose an option from this drop down list. You can go for a battery wand and charger, power adapter, rechargeable battery wand, and so on. The best option, if you're wanting battery, is to go for the lithium battery and a burst charger. Options down here. As we're going to order another blind, I'm going to choose lithium battery and a burst charger. So in other words, I'm saying that with this blind, I want a battery and a charger supplied. Obviously, I'm not going to need a charger for the next blind, but we'll cover that in a minute. So once we've chosen the power supply, we're going to go to the channel. We'll leave this on channel 1 because it's the first blind. And the extra options we're going to leave blank, so we don't need to worry about that. Now you've got the quantity box here, so if you wanted to order 2 blinds this side, you could specify 2 there, then updates down there, but I'm going to just leave this back to 1. So once you've specified everything, check it all, and if there's anything you're not sure of, you can pop it in this box here. So for example, if you wanted an extra core drum, so you could say supply with 6 chord drums, as for an example. We could say supply with extra brackets. What you put in there is up to you. It's just a message that you want to give us to help us make sure that the bind we're supplying to you is correct. So once you've done that and you're happy, click Save. This will then bring up a page we saw a few minutes ago, which will give us an overview of the blind, as you can see here. We're in Motorised, the sizes, there's a blind size, headroll only, and the price. Now you remember that I said in this scenario we're going to order 2 blinds. We're now going to order the second blind for the study. You've got 2 options. You can either add a new blind like we've done from scratch, or you can tick this box here and copy it. This is a bit of a shortcut, so that's what we're going to do here. So I'll tick the box to select this line, then going to hit copy. What we're doing is just duplicating this blind, and you can now see on the second line we've got exactly the same thing, exactly the same blind. So we're going to highlight this line, then hit amend. So then I'm going to bring up the page we saw a few minutes ago, just configure this blind. So the second blind in this study is going to be a different size. So it's going to be 1250 wide and 1250 drop. See the price is updated. And all we're going to do is just run through and configure this blind slightly differently. This time I'm going to pretend that it's a complete kit. So from the fabric, you notice we chose headroll only last time. I'm now going to choose Roman HR complete. So scroll down to R, almost there. Okay, here we are. Roman HR complete. Select that. And again, the price will automatically update. This one, I'm just going to take out this instructions. We used it in the last example, but I don't think we need to use it again now. I'm not going to change this one to study 2. All these options remain the same from our last blind. The only thing we're going to change for a complete kit is the bottom bar and rod options here. Because with our complete kit you get the bottom bar, rods and the toggles. The toggles come automatically, so you don't need to specify them. But under the bottom bar, you tick this box here, go to this drop down list and choose bottom bar 26mm by 4mm white, which is our standard white aluminium bottom bar. Go to rod and again choose either fiberglass, which is our most common, or metal. Leave mine on fiberglass. Now you remember that when we were configuring the first blind for this study, I discussed the remote by having a multi-channel remote. Because these blinds have got a multi-channel remote and in the same room, we don't need a remote for this blind. So in this scenario, I'm just going to choose this blank option. This is just showing how you can use this system to configure motorised blinds to make sure you get exactly what you want. You only need one remote, so you only need to specify that on one blind. And we do the same for the power supply. So before we specify the battery and the charger, this instance we don't need a charger for this blind because one charger can do both batteries, so I'm just going to choose battery on its own. Then you see the price updates. Finally, on the channel, as we've got 2 blinds, the first blind will be paired to channel 1. I'm going to put this onto channel 2. But if when you're placing an order you had 5 blinds that you wanted working off the same remote, you can just run through, change this on every blind. So blind 2 will be channel 2, blind 3 channel 3, and so on. So that's this blind complete, exactly the same as ordering a headroll only, except I specified the bottom bar and fiberglass rods, and chosen Roman HR complete from the fabric drop down. So once that's done, you can hit save. So that's how to order either headroll only or complete kits. The process is exactly the same if you want to order a blind with fabric, just you need to specify a fabric and a lining. So I'm not going to run through every option again, but I'm just going to show you how to specify a lining. So I'm going to copy this blind again, hit copy, This time I'm going to order a blind for the kitchen. So once this is loaded, I'm going to go in and amend this blind, and we can just run through changing the fabric and then adding in a lining. So we can change the location, and this one's a kitchen, and now fabric. I'm going to choose a fabric called Bubble Pistachio. So find Bubble in this list. Here we are, Bubble Pistachio. Click that, and then you see the fabric group is specified there, and the price will update. You just give it there way up. The price is updated. So I'm going to leave the sizes the same, as this is only an example, but then we need to choose the lining we want for this blind. So under the lining drop down list, choose one of these options. You've got standard lining, blackout lining. We actually give the same price for blackout lining and standard lining, which is helpful when selling to your customers, because you can offer the upgrade to blackout at no extra cost. Or if you want interlining, you can choose that, and automatically adds on to the price there. So the only difference for ordering a fabric room blind with fabric is to make sure you specify the fabric and the lining, and you do have to make sure you specify the bottom bar and rod like we did for the complete kit, but everything else is exactly the same. Once you're complete, as always, hit save. So then take us back to our overview page again, where you can see the 3 blinds we've configured today and the amount. And then to save the order as a whole, we hit save again. So we'll take us back to the first page we saw when we log in. As you see, we've got this order here showing in red, so in other words the order hasn't been placed yet. The status is unsubmitted, and this status will be updated as the order is processed when it gets onto our desktop system, and when it's dispatched you can actually use it to track your order, see how it's getting on. So you can either leave this order here on the system. If you select it, you can click print. You can use this for doing quotes and so on. You can see you got it up here, all the options, and it says quotation there. But when you're ready to go ahead, you just make sure you've got that box selected, then hit pay order, or if you've got a credit account, you'll have a button saying submit. Once you hit either pay order or submit, this little box will pop up. So once you're 100% sure that everything is correct, you click OK. Now we'll either submit the order to our system, or you'll be taken to the payment details if you need to pay pro forma. So that's how to order motorised room blinds. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions, give us a call or drop us a line. We're really glad to help. Thank you.